Astrotometry log. It is May the 10th, 2010. It's approximately 0009 UTC. The watch associated with this coronal disturbance has ended, and since the solar wind speed has not returned to normal, I'm going to go ahead and extend the watch for another 3 days. The USGS recorded a 7.4 earthquake in the region that I had identified as the area that is in danger, I guess, for this, and it was lowered to 7.2 on the moment magnitude scale. And so we've seen quite a few disturbances in this area in this watch period, and the largest of which is this 7.2 event, but there's been 3 other quakes over 6 point in magnitude. This is a plot of total solar irradiance from the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, the University of Colorado. And this is the end of solar cycle 23 we're seeing here, and then the beginning of solar cycle 24 right here. And there was this very, very weak period of solar activity where the fluctuations in the irradiance were very, very low. And you can see the general slope of the curve here, and here it's coming back up. And the concern is that during this very, very weak period, that the core of the Earth sort of cooled. So this is the curve so far for 2010. And these are the earthquakes. And if you look, the big quake in Haiti happened right after the sudden spike in activity and then a sudden drop. So there was a sudden increase in the activity, and then there was a drop, and on the 12th here we saw that major quake. And then the 8.8 magnitude quake in Chile happened on February 27th. And so we had this big spike in activity. We go up, and then it slopes down, and then here on the 27th, we see the Chile quake. And so the same trend up and then down. And this was the Haiti quake, up and then the Haiti quake. And then if you look at the March 14th quake at 6.4 in Honshu, Japan, and in Halmahera, Indonesia on March 14th, you can see upward spike, and then on the downtrend, on the downslope, when it reaches the previous minimum, we see the quake. And then April 14th in China, the same sort of trend. We have this up spike, and then on the downswing, we see the quake. And so I'm concerned that what we're seeing right now with the uptrend in the solar radiance is going to fall back down, because the X-ray activity again is falling very low. Unfortunately, this information, this data, only is updated once per week. This is calculated data. This isn't something that can be measured instantaneously, and so this has to be calculated in batch. But the sunspot cycle decreased significantly in the past week. We were seeing a period where we had seen some of the strongest activity we've seen. It was actually stronger back in February. On the 8th, the activity fell back off, and once again we have a blank sun. And so the total solar radiance, I'm expecting to follow this trend pretty closely. As the X-rays fall back down, unfortunately, we're moving into a period that looks like one of these sorts of periods, that looks like one of these sort of downfall periods where the earthquake risk, when there is a coronal hole, will be much higher. And so I'm extending the watch until I see this get back to where it was. And unfortunately, I believe this area is still at risk for possibly even a larger event, unfortunately. So extended until the 13th is this watch for this area.